They said losing a pet at 80 was just part of life. So why did it feel like the end of hers? One silent morning changed everything Margaret thought she knew about grief. When Margaret woke up that first morning without Rusty's paws tapping the hallway, the silence pressed on her chest like a stone. This small habit at dawn could decide whether you ever smile at dusk again. Margaret is 80. For 15 years, Rusty, a sandy-haired terrier with a crooked ear, was her alarm clock, her doorbell, her reason to lace up walking shoes. Neighbors knew the pair by the rhythm of their steps, shuffle, tap, laughter. When the vet whispered, "And I'm sorry," time did not merely slow, it folded. One moment she was stroking warm fur, the next she was holding a leash with nothing at the other end. If you've ever loved an animal longer than some friendships, you know that kinship is carved into the heart. Tonight, we'll walk through 5 heartbreaking truths about losing a pet after 80, and the gentle ways to heal. Stay with me, because Truth 3 holds a warning: 80% of seniors skip, and it's silently draining their strength. Truth 1 minus the silence is louder than any bark. Grief in late life often hides inside ordinary sounds. Margaret thought she was prepared for quiet evenings. Instead, the hush after Rusty's bedtime sigh roared like traffic. She turned on the radio, but every song felt off-key. She opened a window, yet even the garden seemed to hold its breath. A viewer once wrote, "I live alone with my dog, who is a great friend and companion." When that companionship disappears, silence becomes an echo chamber for memories. Gentle way to heal: invite intentional sound back in. Margaret hung a bamboo wind chime on the porch, soft, irregular notes proving life still moved outside her walls. At dawn, she played one recording of Rusty's happiest bark, not to reopen the wound but to honor it, then replaced it weeks later with her granddaughter's voicemail. Action for you. Choose one comforting sound. Classical guitar, ocean waves, a child's laugh. And let it breathe in your space. Sound won't replace love, but it keeps the air from becoming a mausoleum. Memory corners: our senses archive love in unexpected places. The whiff of dusty tennis balls, the click of a food bowl against tile. These triggers can ambush you in the cereal aisle or while folding laundry. Margaret learned to anticipate them rather than fear them. She created a small, trusty shelf by the window, a framed photo, the worn collar, and a vase that always held fresh marigolds because Rusty loved rolling in their scent. By giving memories a dedicated address, surprise attacks lost some of their sting. Next time the grocery aisle ambushes you with dog treat displays, place a hand over your heart and whisper, "And I already have a place for that memory." Ownership turns ambush into acknowledgement. Truth 2, routines collapse overnight. 7 a.m., Rusty nudged Margaret toward the door. 4 p.m., he dropped a tennis ball at her feet. Without him, the clock kept ticking, but she stopped moving. Within a month, her balance faltered, her appetite dimmed, even Sunday lost its flavor. A comment reminds us, my dog helps me as we walk regularly. I am 75, but my dog near 12, still playing, jumping, running. People don't believe how young he appears. Walking a dog can add 22 minutes of moderate activity per day. Remove the dog, remove the nudge. Gentle way to heal: craft micro-rituals. Margaret's phone now buzzes. Taint Rusty's walk. Your walk now. First week, to the corner and back. Each week, 10 extra steps. Fetch hour became watering tomatoes. Lifting, bending, breathing. Here's where many stumble. They promise a heroic gym plan and quit by Thursday. Start tiny. Tie the new ritual to an old one. Brew coffee, step outside, count 5 breaths. Consistency builds the staircase your body trusts. The weight of an empty leash. Before we step into the next truth, picture this: a leash hanging on the back of your door, still looped the way your hands left it yesterday. Ignore this next step, and the grief you feel today could steal your independence next winter. An unused leash is not just fabric, it is a silent invitation to stop exploring the world. We will not let that invitation stand unanswered. Truth 3 minus grief shows up in the body. When the heart aches, the immune system listens. After Rusty's passing, Margaret's arthritis flared. Tremors she'd beaten years ago returned. Another subscriber confessed, I'm 70. I suffer from chronic tremors. I need help but don't know where to get it. I have no friends at all. Cortisol rises, sleep fragments, inflammation spreads. The warning: 80% of seniors skip. They visit the vet but not their own doctor. Pet grief is medical. Hormones shift, digestion slows, blood pressure spikes. Margaret scheduled a checkup, medication adjusted, physiotherapy prescribed, inflammation eased. Practical step: within 30 days of loss, book a health review. Bring notes on sleep, appetite, pain, mood. Healing is not only spiritual, it is cellular. If clinics feel cold, invite a neighbor to ride along. Shared vulnerability often plants new friendship. Extra care, nutrition. Studies show omega-3 seconds and vitamin D support mood regulation in grieving adults. Margaret added salmon twice a week and sat by the window for morning sunlight. Little plates, big impact. When night falls too early. After the doctor's visit, evenings stretched like dark corridors. TV commercials for dog food felt like jabs. A counselor suggested lighting one candle at dusk and blowing it out only after naming 3 things done for herself that day. Some nights, walked, called my sister, watered basil. Other nights, laughed, hummed Rusty's lullaby, stretched my fingers until the ache softened. Little flames pushed back big shadows. But a deeper test waited at midnight. The bed felt suddenly wider. Many seniors report sleep fragmentation for up to a year after losing a pet. Margaret placed Rusty's collar beneath her pillow. Not to cling, but to grant her mind permission to rest. Each week she moved it farther. Bedside drawer, then memory box. Grief, like love, needs transitions, not amputations. Truth 4- friends vanish when fur does. Rusty was Margaret's conversation starter. Children asked to pet him, neighbors lingered. Without him, doors closed faster. One evening she realized she hadn't spoken aloud in 2 days, so she whispered, "Good night, Rusty," just to hear her voice. Studies show seniors with pets enjoy 55% more casual interactions each week. Lose the pet and phones go silent. Gentle way to heal. Cultivate replacement circles. Margaret joined a community garden. First visit, she froze. No dog to lead. A volunteer offered a trowel. Dirt under fingernails broke the ice. Weeks later, she was teaching rose pruning and hosting Tuesday tea. If stepping outside feels impossible, start with letters. Write one memory of your pet, mail it to family. Conversation is like a seed, small, yet capable of splitting concrete. Digital Lifeline virtual pet loss support groups meet on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. 1 hour of shared stories reduces loneliness scores by 1/4, according to a 2023 gerontology study. You may log off teary-eyed, but tears among friends water courage. Truth 5, love doesn't leave, it transforms. The hardest truth is also the most liberating. You will never get over a 15-year friendship, nor should you. Margaret feared healing meant betrayal until she read, "I lost my little dog 9 months ago. She was my partner, my companion, my everything. I look forward to the day we meet again, never to be parted again." Gentle way to heal, transform, don't erase. Each Sunday, Margaret baked Rusty's favorite peanut butter biscuits and delivered them to the shelter. By visit 4, she recognized the wag of a senior beagle named Daisy. She didn't adopt, she simply sat and read aloud. Love moved from memory to service. Your ritual could be planting a tree, sponsoring a guide dog, or framing a sunlit photo. Love changes costumes, the actor stays. Spiritual lens. Many faith traditions speak of a meadow beyond time where beloved creatures wait. Whether literal or poetic, the image lifts grief from despair to anticipation. Margaret kept a small watercolor of that meadow on her fridge. Every breakfast began with hope. The gentle path forward minus rebuilding a life. Healing is a spiral staircase. Sometimes you face the same wall, but at a higher level. Margaret's spiral rests on 4 pillars: movement with meaning, walk the old route, plant new roots, sound with soul, replace hollow silence with chosen harmony, health with honesty, treat grief as a medical event, connection with compassion, turn inward pain into outward kindness. She discovered solitude's softer side, and I find a deep sense of peace and fulfillment in solitude, where I can truly connect with myself, away from the noise of the world. Sunrise journaling let grief and gratitude share the same page. Tears dotted ink. Some mornings she drew little paw prints in the margins. If you fear you're too old to begin again, remember, seniors who volunteer just 1 hour a week report a 17% rise in life satisfaction. Purpose is the true fountain of youth, often hiding in small acts. Watering a neighbor's roses, reading to shelter animals, teaching a child to skip stones. Money tip: memorial projects don't have to drain savings. Local libraries lend audiobooks for free. Community centers swap plants at no cost. Healing thrives on presence, not price tags. Embers of faith. Some losses ask questions only faith can answer. Margaret sat in the back pew of a chapel she'd ignored for years. A stained glass shepherd cradled a lamb. She wondered whether heaven had room for terriers. The pastor whispered, "A love is never wasted. It returns in forms we can't yet imagine." Whether you lean on scripture, poetry, or the simple gospel of morning sunlight, give your spirit a place to rest. Reflection is not retreat, it's refueling. For viewers less religious, consider a practice of gratitude stones. Place a smooth pebble in a jar each time a warm memory surfaces. When the jar fills, pour them at the base of a tree, a silent promise that love's weight nourishes new life. Pause and listen. Maybe a kettle rattles, sparrows quarrel, or rain taps the roof. That heartbeat you feel is proof. Love didn't leave with 4 paws, it simply changed rooms. Margaret keeps her house tidy, asks for no help, and prays each night, "And may I stay strong until God takes me home, where Rusty will race across the grass to greet me." One day, while watering roses, she spotted a fresh bud on a branch that seemed dead all winter. She laughed, a full-bodied laugh that startled a robin. Grief prunes, but it also makes space for unexpected bloom. If today feels like winter, trust the bud you cannot yet see. If you've lost a faithful friend, let these 5 truths guide you from heartbreak to gentle healing. The path is narrow, but it's lit by every memory that still makes you smile. Keep walking. The leash may be empty, but your hand is not. You carry love itself. Let each sunrise be a quiet promise that something tender still awaits you just beyond the garden gate. And remember, the door of tomorrow opens for those who keep moving, even when the leash is suddenly empty.